Hi, Jessie Dujari from Healing Pathwalkers. I'm going to give it a few minutes, let a few people come on since there's more knowing now. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and start talking. I wanted to say good morning. Welcome to this day. I don't know where you are. Here in the Pacific Northwest, we have ice and a little bit of snow, and it's that kind of cold, moist air outside. So I was thinking about, one of the things that we can include in these little morning shows is, or sessions or times together, is like an update on what's coming in, update about what I'm reading about, what I'm receiving. And so one of the things that I follow is Tiffany Styles. I don't know if you guys have heard of her. I absolutely love her work. Anything that she writes or posts or channels or reports about has always been dead on and accurate with whatever it is that I tend to be going through. So if you're looking for somebody where you can look for that kind of stuff and confirm for yourself what you're experiencing. So many of us are going through such intense physiological changes that we are thinking we're sick, we're thinking we're ill, we're going to the doctor and getting more and more of these medication treatments that are actually making us sicker and sicker. So one of the things that's helped me as I've been awakening, have been growing and unmaking, has been to get those confirmations that I'm not crazy, that this is something that others are experiencing. This is something that's going on in the collective. So Tiffany talks about, basically that we had a big portal on 11/11, and there's another one coming up on 12/12. And she'll also talk about, which is one of the reasons I love following her, she'll talk about what's going on with our sun, what's going on in our astro and our astrological and our physical and our metaphysical. She brings all of it together. So when we have big solar flares or big solar storms, that actually changes, that brings this wave of geomagnetic energy, polarized energy, or all sorts of different things come off of the sun and come at us. So our atmosphere is always reacting, and the more we think we're separate from that, the less we are aware of and understand how it's actually impacting us. So if you're in the Healing Pathwalker group, I have already posted her energy report for this upcoming portal and how to prepare. And a lot of it is staying hydrated, staying meditating, stay grounded, and to keep stepping into the flow of allowance is what she's talking about. So then one other portal that's coming up, and this is kind of a little further down the road, and I thought I'd just throw it out there. I also posted this in the group, is the December 31st, the portal of divine manifestation. Now, a lot of people are starting to round out the 2016 year, and they're talking about it as this year of, this great deconstruction, everything breaking that doesn't work, a deconstruction of all that does not support your optimum growth. And the opportunity then becomes, what are you going to do with this new clear foundation that you've made for yourself? So this is the portal for divine manifestation. One of the things that they talk about in here is a sacred twin flame portal. Now, if you know me well, you know my opinion on the concept of twin flames. I think that we have gotten to a place in our culture where we have forgotten the need for impermanence, for change, for the truth of what relationships really are for each other. Now, I've been married for a long time. My husband and I have a dynamic marriage. It's always shifting and changing and adjusting. We've stayed committed and loving towards each other. so that we can create space for each other to grow and learn in. And I've said this before, and I'll talk more about that another time. But what I have found as I've been observing the concept, twin flame has really been entering into the mainstream metaphysical community over the last, at least I would say like 5-6 years that I've heard about it. And it's really grown in popularity. And what I can say is that everyone I have heard gets connected through a twin flame connection. Within, 6 months to a year, those connections were seen for all of the amazing value they had in deconstructing belief systems that person was holding. So I would view what I've also heard this upcoming portal to be about is balancing energy. And I think that's really more what it's about, is bringing that balance. The twin flame should be you, right? Like your twin flame should be like, I believe, your highest self. You falling in love with all of you to the point where you radiate that love out and everybody else gets to receive that love and they get to experience that love and they get to be in that space of love. Now, I'm working towards that. That's a goal for me. And every opportunity I get to observe it, experience it, display it, I take. So I think the 2021 is the balancing energy portal that's coming through, which is the third one, which I forgot to mention earlier. The 2021, they're saying, is like kind of a balancing energy. All of this is really designed to get us into that unity consciousness. So it's kind of like, we've heard of like energy weapons or, sound weapons, how our our military will aim sounds or music at a community that they want to, break. So it's kind of the same concept. We have an energy wave that's coming at the planet, and it's coming from the solar system, from the center of it, the sun. The sun has a consciousness, it has a thought, it has feelings, it has emotions. The sun is temperamental, it's experiential, it's reactive. So when that sun is sending these waves of frequencies and energies out, when you see it from a geomagnetic perspective, you can see the encasement of the planet, but you can also see the internal shifting of the frequency of the planet. This is part of how we have those concepts of free energy, because our planet is always radiating out this energy, this frequency. It's what Tesla was tapping into. That's what our government taps into. You think they pay for energy? So, okay, so I've kind of gotten a little off topic. But my point being, we have a lot of things coming up. There's a lot of portals coming up. So if you find yourself feeling sick, achy, headachy, get in a salt bath, get in an Epsom salt bath, and get more fluid intake. Put a little pinch of pink salt into your water. Make sure that you're eating a lot of alkaline promoting foods, vegetables, and really whole grains if you're going to be eating them. So this is a time where you're going to want to support also your endocrine system, because your endocrine system is how you translate all energy into the physical reality. We have an emotion, and then our endocrine system gives our body the chemicals to process in our nervous system and tell our muscular system, our digestive system, our cardiovascular system how to all respond. So that all starts at your endocrine system. So make sure that you're eating, seeds and nuts and really nutrient-rich foods. That's really important too. Okay, so that was kind of the little update and report for moving forward. The thing that I was planning on talking about today was angels. And angels is such a huge topic. Oh wait, this reminds me, before I get into that, we got a new sign. Do you guys see our new sign? You might not be able to read it, but it says, I'll read it to you. Healing Pathwalkers, where healers come to grow, heal, and expand. And then it says psychic readings, classes, workshops, energy healings, custom designs, jewelry, tools, and more. and our website, healingpathwalkers.com. This is for fairs, and we're going to a fair tomorrow, so this is for our fair. I just wanted to show you guys our new sign. You're the first ones to see it, except for Shauna and I. Okay, so angels. Angels are a really broad topic because it is a topic that is so polluted with the filters and the belief systems of religions and of personal experiences, of cultural differences, of time and era differences in perspectives and views. So when you start to open yourself up to the world of angels, and you know, let's say where do we go when we want to learn about something? We start in YouTube, right? Oh my goodness, there's so many different perspectives. I thought what I'll do is tell you about my experience with angels and why it's one of my they are one of my primary contacts, the one entities or expressions that I use most, interact with most, feel a kinship most to. And I'm not even religious at all. So for me, when I started to kind of awaken, one of the things that I was really struggling with in class was using muscle testing. I didn't really get it because, you know, we did this kind of muscle testing where, you know, you press, and the concept being the body can't lie. So if it's a lie, it won't hold. So like, I hate chocolate. Well, see the finger. Yeah, I can't hold that because I love chocolate. I don't believe in angels. Yeah, I do believe in angels. What else? I believe in Christian belief systems. Some of them I do. So what was my problem was when I said that, my end started to move a little, right? So there's all these varying degrees of strength and of hold. There's soft yeses, there's hard yeses, and I didn't feel like I was clear on any of that. So my guidance was really unclear. And the way that our teacher instructed was based upon using the muscle testing as your confirmation for what you're getting intuitively. So I just felt like I can't tell the difference personally. So I was really struggling with that. And I was in meditation and asking, and I kept seeing this pendulum in my mind. And I didn't know what a pendulum really was, other than, you know, that people used it for dowsing and things like that. So I started to look up pendulums, and I didn't like the chain and the stone at the bottom. But I didn't really do much jewelry, so I didn't really know what I would do. So anyway, I ended up with my son at Michael's, and I saw, I kept feeling drawn to the bead section, the bead aisle. And I went down the bead aisle, and I was kind of like in my mind, like laughing, like, oh yeah, like I'm going to find anything for a spiritually communicative tool in Michael's, right? And as I looked, I just saw all this, you know, crap junk beads, and I was really dismissive of it. So anyway, I noticed at the very end of the aisle, at the very bottom of the aisle, there was this package, and it was wiggling, and it was really like moving. And so I had to go look. And so I went down, and it was this rose quartz. I actually have it right here. Oh, there's one of my bells. They had this rose quartz, and it was all wrapped, and it was solid rose quartz, and I picked it up, and it felt so good. And I thought, oh my gosh, they actually have rose quartz here. They have like real semi-precious stones here, crystals here. That's far out. And it was only like $8. And it was on sale. So I was like, wow, that's such a good deal. And as I turned around, I noticed that some of the strands hanging along in the crap were also wiggling and jiggling. And so I went and I looked at each of these strands, and I promise this story has a point. And so I looked at each of these little strands, and I found on the back that they were actual semi-precious stones. These were like actual stones. And I was blown away. So I just picked up whatever I felt guided to, each of the ones that were wiggling. And I had so many in my hands, and I was like, this is a lot. Like, this is a lot. So I came home, and it was like it just came out of me, and I made this pendulum, and it was a strand of beads with the rose quartz on the bottom. And my pendulum right now is upstairs, so I can't show you it, but it evolved a lot over time. Anyway, I ended up using it and realizing that my pendulum was extremely responsive, and I would use it with all sorts of different people. I tested it a lot, and it was always wanting to talk with me, and I just felt like I could trust this more. You know, I felt like I was more in tune with it, and I was more connected to it, and I could trust what it was telling me. And then it started like doing different things. It started moving in different ways, and I was like, wait a minute, this is interesting. This is sometimes telling me that I'm skirting the issue like it's doing right now, or I'm only getting half of the issue. I'm only seeing a part of the problem. It would tell me if I'm looking in the wrong way. So it was doing all these different things. And I thought, I wonder if it would be like a Ouija board and it could spell. And so I made a chart, a letter chart. And and the first thing I asked my pendulum was, what are you? Who am I talking to? Is this me? You know, and I got a no, and I was like, oh, that's not good. If it's not me, then who am I talking to? And so I put it over the letter chart, and it spelled out angel. Now, when I was younger, before I started doing this work, and before I found the past life or the parallel life that created this issue for me, I was extremely against Christianity, and I viewed angels as a Christian thing. And so I closed myself my whole life to the concept of angels. I thought it was silly. I scoffed at it. I laughed at it. I was more science-based. I was a math major in school, math and psychology major. So that was like my focus. I was kind of like, seriously, people? So that was my background with angels. Now, I grew up in a home where my mother believed in angels and talked about angels, and there was no doubt. She'd seen me yanked off of cliff sides and yanked away from danger many times, so she knew I had angels watching over me. So my exploration with angels did not come from a religious perspective. My exploration with angels came purely from a conversation that I started having with the angels that were predominantly communicating with me. And this led me on a journey. This led me on a journey to find all the different perspectives about angels that I could. And YouTube was a great resource for that, honestly. You can hear about the Anunnaki, you can hear about the ancient Sumerian concept of them. But what I learned, and what I've continued to come back to over and over in my exploration of angels, is that they are a real strand of consciousness, that they're real, that they're there, that they are conscious, that they are loving, that they are supportive, that they are willing to be at your side, even if you're confused and maybe have it just a little bit wrong, purely because you ask them to. And if they're your angels, they will never leave your side. They'll never stop doing that for you. And I was not a person who grew up with people who did that for you. So for me, when I started interacting with the angels, when I started accepting them, when I started allowing them into my heart, into my space, it healed so many of those wounds. Now, I personally am reluctant to share the stories or the beliefs that I create for myself as I've gone down the road of understanding angelics, angelic consciousnesses, angelic energies, because they are beliefs. They're not, as you begin to progress, you learn one thing very quickly, and that is absolute truth is not absolute. It's purely perspective based. So I know that for every story I learn about angels, I learn something else that tells me that's just one story, that's one tale, that's one aspect. So I won't tell angelic stories in that respect. What I will say is that I referenced this last time, I think yesterday, when we were talking about separation. The original separation from Source that occurred was angelic consciousnesses. Gabriel is thought to be the first angelic to be separated away from Source. My personal experience is a little bit different from that. I think it's the first one that interacts with humanity, but in any sort of a massive scale. We know about different tiers of angels and angelics because they're talked about in all different religions. And for me personally, what I have found I'm most drawn to are the seraph angels. I believe my personal guide is an angel called Seraphine. I can't find any real reference to her in any other context, so I don't really have a story to share with you about her. She has been guiding me. Oftentimes, it's one of the reasons that we included guidance on the website itself, some channeled messages, channeled guidance, is because because Seraphine, that consciousness, felt it was quite important that these messages get out and to come through the filter that I have, my personal belief system and filter. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what I felt like I wanted to tell about my experience with angels. Now, working with them, what you will find is that as you, just like in Peter Pan, where the concept is if you believe in fairies, then you can experience them and work with them. With angels, all it takes is accepting that they're there helping you, accepting that these consciousnesses are around you, that they are a part of Source, that they are here for no other reason than to be of service to the divine, and that when they are interacting with you, when they are looking at you, when they are supporting you, when they are just observing you, they observe in you the divine that you can't see in yourself. So that's the whole thing about angels, you know. If you want something from an angel, if you would like support, if you would like assistance in healing, if you are feeling scared and you'd like Michael to come in and help you feel safe or help cut away and clear out to the truth that you are ready to see, Michael's great for that. If you want to call in support with healing, you know, Raphael is great with that, healing in the heart. Gabriel, more physical healing. Each of the different angelics that we learn about or that we hear about, that you see, whether it's in Dorian Virtue's realm of angels or in the Vatican's realm of angels, each one seems to have a job, to have a role. Now, what I've found is that just like with the division from Source and humans coming from that, I found that angelics also are in a division. So there's not just one angel of Michael. Michael has divided himself, and there's a whole stream of angels that are connected to the consciousness of Michael. They hold aspects of that. So sometimes, you know, the Hindu pantheon is really good for kind of illustrating that concept because, you know, they have each main god, there's 3 main gods, and then all the sub-gods are in some way a piece of, an extension of, or a faction of that main god. And, you know, and the people are Brahma broken up into tiny bits, you know, so that concept is not new. It's an ancient concept. What angels don't have is free will. That's what they lack that humans have. So that means that they can observe what's going on around you, and if you don't call for help, you don't ask for it, they can't do anything. There's nothing that will happen. They can't support you. So if you are one of those people who feels like you've been abandoned by God, recognize that that is all a part of the belief system that for you is helping you understand yourself and your road better so that you can work with others better. It's not that you've actually been abandoned. And if you're asking for help from an angel that goes against what your contract is, what you've come here to do, what's necessary in order for you to have that perspective that's necessary in order for you to do your life work. They can't violate your contracts either. So when things like are not being supported, that's a part of it. But like little things, like, can you help me find a parking spot? Can you help me bless this water? Would you help me feel more joy? Would you help me experience more love in this moment? Would you help me see this more clearly? These are things that they love to do, and they are right there with you. Will you help me to see why I'm not learning from this experience? Will you help me to cleanse and release this as I tap into this deep emotional pain? That's what they're there for. They're there for that kind of support. They're there for that kind of help. So in the interest of keeping this not too terribly long, I'm not going to do a card pulling today. Instead, what I'm going to do is just walk us through a connecting meditation where you can connect with your angels, with where you can connect and feel the support that's already all around you. Okay? So, I'm going to get comfortable and I'm going to take a sip because I'm still getting over this cold. All right. So go ahead and always starting with the breath. Begin to take notice of your breath. As you breathe in this present moment. And exhale and release. Breathing in this present moment awareness, smelling the air, and exhaling, releasing this morning. What you have to do after this. Whew, I have a lot to do after this. Just letting it go. Listen to the sounds. You can probably, I don't know if you can hear the wick of this wood fire candle that I'm burning. Feel the temperature of the air really come present into the body. Now I know that most of you work with me a lot, so I want you to take your own steps in this moment to ground. Whether you're visualizing the tree from class, whether you're feeling roots growing from your roots, or you're allowing the surf of Gaia's energy to come up your beach of your soul, up your body. I'm going to feel how you guys are grounding. And know that even if you're watching this as a recording, you're tuned into this moment with me. In this moment, we all are together. And let that energy come into the body. Running it up through the body. And remember, this is your practice, so if you need to adjust or move, do so. If you want to lay flat for your meditation, do so. It's your meditation. Feel that body pulling the energy up more. We're all about in our heart space now. Let it come up. Feel the crowns opening up. And feel that liquid gold, or however that source energy is coming down into you. Allow the experience to be yours. Feel that source energy coming down through the body. Feel it going down through not just the cells, but the spaces between the cells. Down. Now, during this process of grounding and connecting, you may have thoughts come up, memories, flashes of images. Observe these. Observe the body's response. Observe how the energy slows, builds, and then releases and pushes it down. Allow whatever's being shown to you to be shown. This is what the inner work is all about. This is what it is to take it internal. And it's not about whether or not what's popping up is true or right. If you get into that process of trying to see what is the correct, you're distracting and pulling away. And thank it for protecting you from something that you thought would be bad. And allow yourself to show you what it needs to as you're running these energies through the body. This is the foundation work of healing. When I'm upset, this is where I start. And come into wholeness, groundedness. Feel how that energy is already flowing out the feet now, through the roots, into source into Gaia. Now, I want you to notice in your body, are you hearing anything a little bit differently? Is there a high pressure, a whine? Does it feel like you've cupped your ears and are listening this way? Do you feel any pressure anywhere in the body? Take note and observe now as a control, right? As a, where am I at now? This is your base. And now I want you to imagine that you're surrounded by angels. Whatever that looks like for you. Whether they're little cherubs, which by the way do not look anything like that. They're mighty seraphs, the winged gods, whatever they may be. Imagine that you're at a party of angels. And for this time, suspend the voice that says it's not true. Just allow. Say hello to them. And notice how the body feels. Did you get a flush of energy? Now this is just to open up. We're going to ask the angels that are supporting you most, that are with you the strongest, we're going to ask them to come into the body in full support so that you may feel them completely. Take note if your eyes are closed. Are you seeing a color? Are you feeling a sensation? When my angels are talking to me most strongly, I feel pressure in my ears and kind of like a opening of sound. Ask the angel that guides you the most to whisper in your ear. And as you feel that shift in pressure and frequency and tone by the ear, imagine you have a dial, a knob, a tuning knob, just like on a receiver. And try tuning it in. Oh, this just reminded me of what Hannah Neal did when I first asked to hear the angels singing. Ask to be tuned in to the sound of the angels singing around you. Hannah Neal Perez, another one to work with. And just allow tune in a little more. And note that you're not listening for words. You're listening for vibrations, feelings, and maybe sounds. Sometimes I do just this alone for meditation, is just sit and listen to the angels singing. That's my favorite meditation. But for this moment, let's try focusing in a little differently. I want you to think about a situation that's been stressful or upsetting recently. Please don't pick something really dramatic, because, like, I'm not one-on-one with you. But think of something that's been annoying, irritating, frustrating, something that comes up a lot. Notice the shift in the body, how tightness started to come in, stress started to manifest itself physically. You did, Jolene. Hey, Jojo. So, notice how the body is shifted already physically, starting to express itself. Maybe you're even feeling little aches and pains somewhere. Now I want you to ask your angel that supports you most. If you specifically feel connected to a particular angel, let's say it's one you always wear you always have the medallion that represents that angel, or there's some really strong connection. There's always a reason for that. Don't shy away from that. Those angels are big in their consciousness. It's quite easy for Michael to connect to hundreds of thousands of us at once. So ask the angel that supports you most. For me, I'm most supported by Gabriel and Seraphine. So they're who I work with when I want to work on myself. Ask them to come in and to help you understand the root of this stress, this anxiety, this situation. Ask them to help you see how this is serving you. And replay through your mind the upsetting situation. in allowance for the commentary they have, and recognize it's going to sound a lot like your own voice in your head. Just maybe a little bit more clear, a little different perspective. Listen. Now ask that angel to help you understand physiologically how it's impacting you. And again, play through the situation. While allowing them to show you the physiological response. For my situation, I get this tightness in my stomach, low down, like right between my third and my second. Disempowered and fire smothered. If you feel drawn to put your hands on your body, or to rub your body, or to touch a space, do those things. Your angels are helping you, they're guiding you in how to heal yourself, right? This is the only way they can do it, is like as an urge, a desire. Maybe I could. Keep replaying the situation until it feels totally neutral, until you no longer feel triggered by it, until it flows easily, until you can look at it from at least 5 perspectives. Okay, at least 2 perspectives. You want to get to a space, if you can see one other way of looking at a situation, find another way, and then find another way, until you're unattached to the way that you look at the situation. The situation just is. That's how we also do the deep healing of belief work and break those beliefs down. This is how I use angels to support me in that belief work. Show me the truth that I need to see from this perspective, from this point, from where I'm at right now, to lead me. Ooh, see, I kind of struggle with the lead me part. Excuse my burping. When you're doing exhale, and when you're doing releases, they'll come in the form of belches, the other way. Sometimes it's tears flowing. Sometimes it's a yawning breath. Sometimes it's ear popping or sinuses draining. All of these are different ways that the body starts to display or exhibit the releases that it's having. Okay, so continue this dialogue with your angels. Now, I'm just going to throw a few things that you can do playfully with your angels. Like I said, you can ask if there's any angels that are interested in blessing your home and blessing everyone and everything that comes through your door, every piece of food that you purchase, every friend that you welcome over, and see if you notice any difference in people as they come into your home. I have angels blessing my door, and I'll tell you what, it's kind of funny. People who don't really have the best of intentions towards me either cannot find my door, or cannot get to my door when I'm home, or cannot find my doorbell, or don't even feel comfortable approaching. It's hilarious. And when people leave, they kind of leave a little bit dazed, because they're getting a clearing and blessing as they leave as well. So try asking if there are any angels that will bless and purify the water as it comes through your home. Optimize it and bring it into perfect frequency alignment to support your growth, your expansion, your health, your love, your harmony, your happiness, whatever it is that you're working on at that point. Ask an angel to help you find a parking spot. I know it's silly, but when my teacher told me that, I was like, seriously? And every time I do it, bam, there's always a parking spot or somebody pulling out. And when I forget, I'm like looking and looking and looking. And then I get irritated and I ask, it doesn't work the same. So the angels are there supporting you. And know that nobody can certify you to talk to them. That's like saying that you got certified to listen to me. Nobody can tell you what your experience with them is going to be, because nobody can listen inside of you and receive inside of you. So trust your experiences and share them. The more you share them, the more confirmations you get. When I talk with other people about my experiences with my angels, I get so many confirmations. It's like, oh, not only do I know now that you're on the same feed, you're working with the same angel, no wonder we're such good friends, but now I also know I'm not crazy because you just got the same thing that I got. Interesting, right? Okay, so that's my bit for today. I will be back next Monday, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And if you feel like you need a little bit in the morning when I'm not here, you can always go to our YouTube page. Our channel on YouTube is Healing Pathwalkers, and we have like shows and meditations and all kinds of stuff there that you can explore. I hope that you spend some time outside. I hope you spend some time in meditation. And look at that. My dryer is all done. All right. I love you all. And hi, Kimberly. Many blessings to you too. Bye, everybody.